Welcome back to the second last balance video for our patch 1.30 that is currently on the PTR. We covered humans, orcs, undead, and now it's time for the Nightelf. And I think the Nightelf changes are really interesting and could be really cool. So let's not waste any time and dive in. This is it! The Sentinel! Starts with the Demon Hunter. He got a little nerfed, and especially, reduced agility. We've seen that from the Blade Master as well. Those heroes were ridiculously strong on level 1, got more stats than all the other heroes. So that got reduced here by 1. I think it's fair. And then finally, a nerf to Metamorphosis. We have expected this on 1.29 already, but now 25% reduced duration from 60 minutes to 45. And yeah, that's justified. I mean, Metamorphosis is so strong. They didn't touch the actual skill, which surprised me. But the less Metamorphosis, the better it is. I think you can run away from it for a while. So that's fair. And that means it's more downtime for the ultimate as well. So that's cool. There was also a bug that if you killed the Demon Hunter in the transformation from Metamorphosis to Demon Hunter, then you can't use it anymore. So that got fixed. That's nice. Blizzard taking care. That's cool. More changes for the Keeper of the Grove. Just a little bit for Force of Nature. I think Entangle and Thornsower are fine now. Force of Nature, still not too many people used it. So it costs less mana now. And the Dispel of a lot of stuff got nerfed. So the Treants should be a little better now. Archers got tankier. 15 HP. Shouldn't make too big of a difference. But Huntress. Huntress are interesting. Because, you know, they have the Sentinel ability where you can spawn these little owls in the trees. For free now! Don't have to research that anymore. And the tier 3 upgrade, the Moon Glaives, where you do additional area of effect damage, you get it on tier 2. So I think that's pretty good for a Nightelf transition. Like, if you start with Huntress, then the problem in the middle of the game is, what do you do with those Huntress? They don't do a thing anymore. A little bit of AoE, yeah, but that's about it. Piercing damage just hard counters them. And with more AoE, or with better AoE, they could have a better place in the metagame, and that is due to 2 other reasons as well that I will show you. First one is this here. Glaive Thrower damage is insane. I mean, it was the weakest siege weapon by far in all of Warcraft 3 with the least damage. The damage got buffed by 1/3. And it's still very easy to get them. They're still cheapish. So I guess Huntress opening with Glaive Throwers, and later you see the changes on the Edge Protectors, we will see that a lot more. A lot more. So that's sick. Druids of the Talon are a little more expensive now, and the Fury Fire doesn't last that long. 20-second reduction on units and 20-second reduction on heroes as well. That's like 22 and 33%. That's good. I guess Fury Fire was lasting ridiculously long. Like a lot of spells in Warcraft, it was a different time. It lasted too long. And with them being a little more expensive, you can't mass them too much. So that should help orcs, especially with tier 2 reinforced defenses. Still viable, but not like too much nerfed. Not too strong, I guess. Good change in my opinion. Hippogryphs, also an interesting change. They already got Sentinel for free, and now they get Hippogryph Taming for free. So once you have a Hippogryph, you can pick up an Archer and have a Hippogryph Rider. And that Hippogryph Rider has 15 more HP. We haven't seen them a lot. I think there's a place for them in FFA or something, where you rush air. That would be a lot stronger there. Maybe Foggy comes up with new strategies with the Hippogryphs now. That's what made him famous, obviously. But apart from that, I think they're just still way too weak. DPS way too low to be viable. Maybe we will see some cool moves here and there, though. Dryads, like across the board, Dispel got weaker, and that goes for Abolish as well. 50 damage less against summons. All the Water Elementals will be happy. And maybe we'll see more summons in this patch. Bears, finally! Get nerfed from 29 to 44 damage to 25 and 40 damage. That's an 11% damage reduction, which is fair. They're still very good damage. It's very tanky. Roar And the healing, I don't have to mention how good they are. But at least we will, like, maybe they're not those siege bears anymore. Lack of damage? Maybe. But on the ground, I think the Demon Hunter and some Huntress can hold up against that. So, good change. Mountain Giant's got some love as well, and isn't he cute? Cost less gold and less supply. 75 gold less. 17% reduction is good. And 1 supply less is also okay. I don't think they are that viable, because you still need tier 3 for the upgrades that make them effective. But you can, like, build one at tier 2 while you're attacking. So they're not super late anymore. I mean, you could do that before, but now it doesn't clog up your supply. It doesn't cost that much. So I think it's fine. We'll see if that's enough, or if Mountain Giants need some more buffs. But it's a step in the right direction. Chimeras! Decreased half damage splash radius. I explained that already in the human video. That there's a multiplier. Like, you have your point where you shoot, and then around that is half damage radius. That is 50% damage then. And the small radius is 10%. But what does that mean? It's basically a little less damage around the impact of a Chimera shot. So it's a little nerf, but not too much. Pretty big nerf, I think, is Moonwell. Regeneration of 1.25 per second up to 1.5. I thought the increased mana cost for mana burn were to weaken that usage of Moonwells. But apparently it's not enough. Like, do you need more healing as Nightelf? I think it was good before. This could be too strong. We'll see more staffs maybe, more healing, more free healing. So I don't really see why they did that, but do you as a Nightelf feel that it was necessary? I mean, you're glad to take it, but was it necessary? Engine of War creeping got a little harder, less damage, a lot less damage actually, and 100 HP less. So I think that was a little unfair, creeping for human and Nightelf in general, so they weakened the militia duration and they nerfed the Engine of War as well. I think it's good. Will make the early game for Night Elves a little slower, I guess, with less damage. I mentioned the Huntress before, and the Glaive Throwers. And what comes with the Huntress and Glaive Thrower push? Most likely Edge Protectors, and they are pretty strong now. Reduced build time, 5 seconds. That's always something you take. And the DPS of those Edge Protectors are a lot better now, because the attack speed is buffed now, or the cooldown of the attack is decreased. So it's like 17% more damage when they are rooted, and what was it? 7% more damage when they're uprooted. So of course they're always rooted, so that's a lot of damage. Plus the additional area of effect from Huntress, plus the 33% more damage of the Glaive Throwers. I see a lot of Huntress Glaive Thrower AP pushes coming, a lot more than we have now. And another change is that the Chimera Roost no longer requires an Engine of Wind. That makes it easier to transition from Dryads and Bears to Chimera Roost, so maybe that helps against humans that are towered in too much, or in general when you need more damage. It's a good change for Night Elves, of course. I don't think it's imbalanced or anything. Just makes things a little easier for the Night Elf. I think that's very interesting changes. I think the Night Elf in general stayed okayishly strong, but have more of a variety now. So you don't... Maybe at the beginning of the game you don't really know what they will do, so you have to scout more. And you have to be aware of pushes. I like that. That's a good thing, that's the right approach, that is exactly what we want of Warcraft, more tactical variety, and I hope the Night Elves pick up from that, so we see less Dryads, Bears, Talons. That would be nice. So that's it for the 4 races. We do have some neutrals left, the neutral heroes, and there's a big change waiting for you guys. So 5th balance video coming up. It's gonna be the neutral heroes and some more. Tune in.